Universal Time.
I am in radio contact.
Today in the lab, it is the Advanced Computer Controls Model Rc-96 repeater controller. So over here we have the CPU, memory, EEPROM, RAM, double EEPROM for storage. Back here is the I/O ports, which are DIN connectors. The majority of the audio adjustments were moved to where you could access them from the front, or the rear of the panel, so you could adjust things without having to open it. And over here we have the built-in auto patch. So one of the things that's a little bit annoying about this model is they went to this sticker membrane front panel, and it kind of falls apart after some time, and it's not the best thing in the world, but I guess serviceable, or not really serviceable. But this front panel sticker connects to the board with one of these flex unit connections. They also did make this, this was an option that cost extra, so there are versions of the Rc-96 where they don't have the LEDs or the keypad, and it's just it's a front panel sticker. And as I recall, those had the volume knob, but they didn't have the rest of this. Anyways, this one is a version 4. something. And we are going to upgrade it to version 5.2, which is the latest version of the firmware that was published. So here is the rear panel of the unit. So the configuration dip switches were also accessible from the rear. Here are our DIN connections for the repeater, link radio, control receiver, digital voice recorder, and some remote control functions. I've taken the liberty of making some DB9 to DIN adapters. So here are the audio adjustments: speaker output, 12-volt input, which is available as terminal strip and barrel connector, and the RJ11 phone interface. Alright, and since this controller is new to me, we'll plug it in and see if it actually works.
Rc-96 V4.1. Hi and welcome to N6ODI Remote NNDO.
It looks like it actually works. Alright. And it looks like the previous owner has replaced a lot of the electrolytic capacitors, if not all of the electrolytics that were in here. So, yeah, we're ready to go. The keypad's a little bit chunky, but it do work. Now we got a DTMF LED as well. So one of the things that makes these controllers unique is their use of paged EEPROMs. So this is a 64 kilobyte EEPROM, which shows up as 4 pages of 16 kilobytes. And this is done so you don't have to modify your board when you need bigger programming space. So if you originally made your board to use like a 27C128, this was a way you could expand your programming space without having to change your board. So these don't use address pins A14 or A15, and they're compatible with earlier designs. So we also have a smaller EEPROM down here. I believe this one's a 27C64. Next to it, that is the double EEPROM for the non-volatile configuration storage. And above here is RAM. So both the double EEPROM and the RAM are 8 kilobyte chips. Over here is our 8085 microcontroller. And then up here is the Texas Instruments 5220C. So this one says TSP. I believe they're also labeled as TMC 5220. But that is our speech synthesizer. Dallas DS1232, that is a CPU monitor and watchdog reset circuit. Pull these chips out. So the chip that's in this position will no longer be needed. And now we can burn a new chip. So looking at the 27C64, pins look a little bit gnarly and looks like either someone was soldering to them for test purposes, or this might have been pulled out of a board and recycled. Not exactly sure which. But it's interesting because it has the factory ACC sticker on it. So here are the chips needed for our upgrade. We have the Intel 27C011, which is the 128 kilobyte version of a paged EEPROM. So same thing, it's compatible with the 27C128 EEPROM pin assignments, so you don't have to do anything to the board, but this is doubling the programming space compared to where we are now in the controller. And then here is the Dallas DS1216E, also referred to as a clock sandwich. So this is a way to add a real-time clock to your design without having to change the board layout. So this is the actual real-time clock chip here. And if you look at the molded plastic on the bottom, you can kind of see the imprint where the lithium battery is. But this wedges in between, I believe it's the double EEPROM and the board. One of the things that makes it hard about working with these controllers also is actually finding an EEPROM burner that can deal with paged EEPROMs. So this is the EE Tools Chip Max 2. And I haven't tried it with the 27C011, but I've used other products they've made, and they've been able to burn a 27C011 okay. So we'll give it a shot. Alright, we got it programmed. So the little window on the top of an EEPROM, that's actually how you erase these, by shooting in ultraviolet light. And once it's programmed, you want to cover that with like a little piece of electrical tape or something, so UV light doesn't get in there and erase the chip on you. So it's not really a problem with light bulb. Well, it depends, because a lot of modern fluorescent lights and LED lights have a lot of ultraviolet component to them, and also you can erase one of these by putting it out in the sunlight for like a whole day. So yeah, just cover the window. And I've removed the double EEPROM because it turns out that is the socket our clock sandwich installs to. You want to make sure your pins get lined up before pressing one of these home. So now that our pins are definitely in the socket, just press her down. And here it is with the double EEPROM put back into it. So you can see why they call it a sandwich. Just sandwiches in between the chip and the socket. All right, we've got it Got it wired into the audio, and we'll plug it in, see how we did.
Rc-96 V5.2.
So the final part of the upgrade is programming the Dallas DS1216E, which was also added as a way to prevent customers from pirating the V5 software to think that the 10's year is 5. So for 2025, we should program it to think it's 1955. So a secret code exists which programs that as follows. And then we have to use D.
OK.
And it accepted the code. So the D at the end was because we're using the front panel keypad, and that's how you tell the controller to process the function you just installed.
Rc-96 V5.2. Welcome to this Freedom Net Open Repeater. K3MK Repeater.
As always, thank you for your time and try to enjoy yourselves the rest of the day.